with the signing, though, was there anything special that you wanted to do with that?
With the what, sorry?
Like you're signing, re-signing, sorry.
Is there anything special I wanted to do?
Purchase, I don't
No,
know.
no. I mean, no. If you're asking about if another car or something, no. No, I'm good. There's nothing special prepared for resigning.
You had talked last year, very confidently about being able to get something done, and obviously it did get done. So can you kind of walk through what that process was like for you? Are you happy with everything as far as?
Yeah, I'm really happy that I resigned and stayed here. Myself, my family, my wife and kids, they love it here. We're settled. We've been here 3 years, so it's nice that we can stay in a place where we really love it. So that's the first and the most important. And it was a process, and I said it during the playoffs. It's a process. The club has to look at who else they need to bring, and in this league there is a budget that every team has to work with, and all the little details that every team has to go through. So it wasn't as simple as hey, here, sign, but it's. The club has to do what's best for the club, and in the end, I re-signed, and we managed to get a few other big pieces as well, which is great for us.
How are you feeling fitness-wise?
I mean, I hate preseason, man. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it at all. It's just all about running, and yeah. But it is what it is. It's gonna last a month or so, and then we get into the season and so many competitions, there won't be time for any fitness. So I guess for this month, we'll just have to stick with it.
Are you over what you were dealing with at the end of last season?
Yeah, no, it's there is an injury in my hip that probably won't just go away. But I think in the off season, I did a good job of taking care of it, doing treatments, and it's feeling a lot better now. It almost feels like nothing's wrong with it. But with the amount of games that are coming up, we've come up with the treatment plan with different treatments, injections that will definitely keep it down. But yeah, right now I feel really good.
So there's no threat of surgery, needing surgery.
No.
You obviously the attack was something that everybody wanted to have boosted. How do you feel about the additions there, and how that maybe can translate this season?
Yeah, I mean. If you're asking about Paul, Arriola, and Jesus, they're both great players. They were big pieces for Dallas for many years. Paul, more experienced, older guy, and Jesus, still in his young age, has done a lot in the MLS and scored a lot of goals. So yeah, they'll be both positive signings for us, and players that will help us in terms of creating and scoring goals.
Did you know them at all?
I mean, I played against them probably 20 times against each of them, but no, we were not friends when they played for Dallas. No.
Albert, you were extremely productive last year in the 4-2-3-1 formation with a specific role. There's some talk about potentially that changing. Does that, take any of your confidence going into the season, or what do you think about that sort of thing?
No, I mean, whatever the formation will be, it's for us to have success. So whether that means me or a couple other guys have to slightly change the roles or get used to the system. This is why we're doing preseason for a month, and we're going to play 4 or 5 scrimmage games, and this is the time to try it out. So I think if it will be good for us and it will benefit the team, I think we'll stick with it. And coaches obviously will decide whether that's the formation for specific games, whether that's a formation for us to have just in case we need to change something, or injuries or whatever, or it will be our primary formation. So as of right now, we train twice, so it's still early to kind of say what the formation will be, or how will it look? So yeah, I think it'll be a process of preseason.
In terms of this year, I mean, it's kind of funny. I want to get your take on what it's going to look like. I mean, you're going to play in Guatemalan team, then eventually an MLS team, and then PSG. I mean, there's like a whole level of like soccer that you're going through. What does that say to you going into this year? Is that difficult? Different types of soccer that encourage you? What does that make you feel?
No, I think we're excited because all the different competitions that we're in, they all will require something else. Playing PSG at home here in Seattle or going down to Guatemala and playing there. Those are two very different games, but the year at least that we played Champions League and the year that we won it, we started off, I don't even know where it was, in Honduras. And man, it was not easy. It was not easy because the field's not great, the conditions are tough. For the team in Guatemala, they'll be up for it. They're playing against the MLS team, so it's a lot of different things that kind of combine and make the game hard. So I think we're excited for each competition as we start the competition, and especially the Champions League, because I feel like since we've won it, we haven't played it, which is kind of sad because I feel like if you win the competition, you should automatically be in the next year, no matter what you do in your domestic league. But yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to be back in Champions League, and maybe it'll bring back some good memories.
Albert, what excites you about the season? What are some of the things that you're looking forward to from a professional standpoint?
I mean, I'm just happy that we have so many games, so there's less time to train, and we can focus. We can focus on the games, and the games are going to come so fast that it's going to be game, regen, light training, game, and I think that's everyone's dream. I don't think we want to be here for an hour and a half every day. So I'm just excited for all the games, and as we said now, the Champions League, Leagues Cup, the Club World Cup, Open Cup, and the MLS. It's going to be so many games and so many opportunities for many guys. For the young ones especially, to show themselves at a big stage and maybe make the next step in their career. So I'm excited for the games for the most part.
And as you've seen some of the younger people, the younger players, get excited about the prospect of playing a lot of those games this year, how do you, from a leadership standpoint, not only temper their expectations but also coach them on how to prepare for those games?
Yeah, I think probably as we get closer to those games, maybe if any of the guys will approach the senior guys and with anything, with feeling nervous or whatever, we're all here to help, and I think we're all professional enough to kind of guide them, and maybe from our own experience to say what can work and what doesn't have to, but yeah, I mean, those games for some people are once in a lifetime to play those kind of teams, and for the city of Seattle as well to host those 3 games in the summer, I think it'll attract a lot of attention, and it's all good, man. So it should be a good year.
I know you said you didn't particularly like preseason, but what do you think the benefits are of preseason, whether that be on the field and off the field, especially with the competitions ahead?
No, I mean, we need to get ready. We need to be fit, because to play those amount of games that we have is not going to be easy. And yeah, at the same time, I think it's important that the team stays healthy. I don't think we can afford to have, a lot of injuries again, and to have guys miss games and miss important games, because I feel like all the games, all the competition that we start in are kind of group stage or knockout stage right away, so you have to kind of start hot right away, or you could leave the competition very early, which is, something that we don't want to happen to us. So yeah, the benefits of preseason is, getting fit, playing teams that will play in Marbella, probably more European teams, and they have something else, a little bit different tactically and the way they play as well. So it will be a good challenge for us, because we're going to face in Champions League and Leagues Cup and Club World Cup teams that are not from MLS for most part. So I think that's one of the reasons why we're heading to Spain for preseason, to have those games. And yeah, preseason all about fitness and just getting repetitions in, working on the different formation, and yeah, just playing games, and because the season's going to come very soon. The month will pass by.
Outside of getting a regimen for your hip, was there how else were you personally preparing for a schedule like this?
I mean, it's yeah. I mean, during the off season, first and foremost was to take some time off so the hip gets better, and then whether it's a lot of different exercises for the different muscles around the hip that can help, and I don't really understand all of it, but I just know what to do, what exercises to do. That's in my schedule, and I try and follow that, and the hip feels better. So if it's going to work, I'm going to keep doing it.
Are there any personal goals that you can share with us that you have for yourself this year?
Yeah, I think it's time to win a trophy. I think it's we're playing, I said it, 5 different competitions. Don't really care which one, but I feel like we need to win something this year. We need to win a trophy, win a competition, and we were close last year in so many different ones, but close is not good enough. So I think winning something this year would be a good goal to have.